Guys, big breaking news coming out. Please share this video. Today is March 2nd, 2025, and welcome to the Real GS News channel. Guys, before I start, give this video a big thumbs up, and once again, thank you so much for your support. It says here, UK ready to deploy troops and jets for Ukraine peace deal. Not only that, UK to send 5,000 air defense missiles to Ukraine. Starmer announced $2 billion in export financing to supply 5,000 air defense missiles to Ukraine. This move signals Britain's continued military backing as Ukraine struggle against the bear advances. Wow. And for the first time, they're going to deploy troops. For the first time. Now, the bear, Russia, they warned any troops that enter this country, Ukraine, is going to be targets. All right, so this is not looking good. Once again, Starmer, the Prime Minister, said UK ready to deploy troops and jets for Ukraine peace deal. All right, guys, we're going to see what's going on in this one. I want to thank every single one of you for your support. Again, either through Patreon, PayPal, or Cash App. Thank you so much. Your support truly helps out. Again, if you guys want to help contribute to the channel, the links will be in the comments box. All right, so the Prime Minister said we will keep the military aid flowing and keep increasing the economic pressure on the bear to strengthen Ukraine now. This goes to tell you that peace plan, forget about it. Seems like that peace plan is not gonna work. Second, we agreed that any lasting peace must ensure Ukraine's sovereignty and security, and Ukraine must be at the table. Third, in the event of a peace deal, we will keep boosting Ukraine's own defense's capability to deter any future invasion. 4, we will go further, develop a coalition of the willing to defend a deal in Ukraine and to guarantee peace. The UK is prepared to back this with boots on the ground and planes in the air, together with others. There's going to be a lot more. Together with others. There's going to be a lot more countries that's going to get involved, that's going to send soldiers. Europe must do the heavy lifting, but to support peace in our continent and to succeed this effort must have strong U.S. backing. Donald's saying, it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. If you guys want to go do your thing, go ahead. But we not gonna get involved. We not gonna stick our nose in this WWE stuff. But we have more breaking news. UK to send 5,000 air defense missiles to Ukraine. Starmer announced $2 billion in export financing to supply 5,000 air defense missile to Ukraine. This move signals Britain's continued military backing as Ukraine struggle against the bear advances. So I want to pull up this information here. This is coming out from the Kiev Independent. They have some very important information here I want to share to you. Look at all this list here. So once again, guys, WW3 is around the corner. I do believe so. When spoken of peace and safety, or peace and security, then sudden destruction shall follow. Key developments on March 1st and the 2nd. Number 1. Europe developing coalition of the willing to back ceasefire in Ukraine, Starmer says. Number 2. UK to provide $2.8 billion loan to Ukraine backed by frozen Russian assets. Number 3. Macron, Starmer working to pacify Zelensky, Donald relations, because what is at stake is too important. Number 4. The UK to provide Ukraine with $2 billion for air defense. Number 5. Top US officials, lawmakers, lambaste Zelensky over White House clash with Donald. Number 6, Kremlin says perceived U.S. foreign policy shift aligns with its vision. All right. So UK Prime Minister Starmer said on March the 2nd that a number of European nations, a number of European nations, including the UK and France, are developing a coalition of the willing that will include planes. Oh my goodness. Planes in the air and boots on the ground in an effort to negotiate a successful ceasefire in Ukraine. Starmer added that for any coalition to succeed, Europe must have strong U.S. backing. European allies will go forth to develop a coalition of the willing to defend a deal in Ukraine and to guarantee the peace, Starmer said during a press conference following a European leaders summit in London. Not every nation will feel able to contribute, but that can't mean we sit back. Instead, those willing will intensify planning now with real urgencies. The UK is prepared to back this with boots on the ground and planes in the air, together with others. Europeans must do the heavy lifting, Starmer said. This is not a moment for more talk. If you want to preserve the peace, you have to defend the peace. Starmer is hosting Zelensky and other leaders in London to discuss how to strengthen support for Ukraine and ensure a just and lasting peace. The summit is even more crucial now after a fallout between the Ukrainian leader and U.S. Donald in the White House. Now, once again, the UK and France have spearheaded the idea of deploying European peacekeeper in Ukraine to monitor a potential ceasefire. Now, French President Emmanuel Macron and Starmer appealed to Donald to remain involvement in maintaining a post-war order, but they failed to receive any concrete commitments as the new U.S. administration expects Europe to take the responsibility for Ukraine's security. Starmer said that he spoke to Donald on March 1st to deliver plans of the proposed coalitions and added that the proposed coalition will succeed on the basis that Europe work with the U.S. and that it will have U.S. backing. A lot of things going on. How this war just shifted in the blink of an eye. Starmer did not specify which other country would participate. So there's going to be multiple countries, but we don't know who will participate. But these countries, they're going to send troops. These countries possibly going to send planes, warplanes. But we don't know who country. Again, we have an idea. I think there's a possibility. I do strongly believe one of them is Germany. They're going to have a new leader, and they're going to be sending their long-range, I forget the name of the long-range missile. Another one would be France. There's a possibility, perhaps Poland. So again, some of these countries are going to be sending soldiers now. The UK is the first, and there's going to be a lot more, they said. So the purpose of today's meeting was to unite our partners around this effort to strengthen Ukraine and ensure a just and enduring peace for the good of all of us, Starmer added. We have to learn from the mistakes of the past. We cannot accept a deal like Minsk, which the bear can break with ease. While most European leaders publicly voiced support for Zelensky after his spat with Donald, Starmer called both the Ukrainian and U.S. leader in an attempt to bridge the rift. The Prime Minister reportedly aims to tell Zelensky that fixing relations with Donald would be necessary to ensure lasting peace. The British Prime Minister and Macron, who visited Washington earlier this week, are seeking to mend the ties between Kiev and the U.S. and present a united front on Ukraine and the bear. European leaders have previously been sidelined from talks between the U.S. and Russia, concerned that neither the EU nor Kiev will have a role in negotiating a ceasefire in Ukraine. All right, so that's what's going on. So there's going to be multiple nations. We don't know who these nations are, but they're going to get involved. They're going to be sending troops, boots on ground, and planes in the air. All right, so we are seeing that UK is the first one. And remember, the bear, Russia, the bear said any troops that enter, there will be targets. All right, so UK to provide $2.8 billion loan to Ukraine backed by the frozen Russian assets. UK signed an agreement with Kiev on March 1st to provide Ukraine with a loan worth 2.26 billion pounds. That's $2.84 billion US currency, backed by frozen Russian assets. Now, the loan, which is part of the Group of Seven Extraordinary Revenue Acceleration Credit Initiative, was signed amid Zelensky's visit to London to meet with Starmer. Now, the UK continues to stand in defense of Ukraine. Today's agreement, which contributes to strengthening Ukraine's defense capability, confirms this, Ukraine finance minister said in a statement. The loan would go towards purchasing defense equipment according to Ukraine's need, the finance ministry said. In October 2024, G7 countries came to an agreement that pledged to provide Ukraine with almost $50 billion loan. The United States will contribute the bulk of the loan with $20 billion in assistance. The U.S. is closely followed by European Union's counties, including France, Germany, and Italy, with a combined $19.4 billion, and the remaining approximately $10 billion will be divided up with Canada providing $3.7 billion, Japan stepping in, Japan providing $3.07 billion, and the UK providing $2.8 billion in loan funding. Under the G7 era initiative, Ukraine had previously received $1 billion from the US and $3.1 billion from the EU, while Western countries have frozen $300 billion in Russian assets. They can only access the annual income generated by these funds, approximately $3.2 billion. These profits will back the $50 billion loan to Kiev, while the vast majority of the assets are frozen in European countries. Man, Russia's not going to like that. In January, Zelensky and Starmer signed a 100-year partnership agreement during their meeting in Kiev on January 16. The wide-ranging deal encompasses cooperation in military, energy, scientific, cultural, economic, and other sectors. Earlier in the day, Starmer, in line with European allies, reaffirmed his country's support for Ukraine and Zelensky. We stand with Ukraine for as long as it may take, Starmer told reporters at a press briefing alongside Zelensky, adding that Ukraine has full backing across the United Kingdom. Here's another one. Macron, Starmer working to pacify Zelensky-Donald relations because what is at stake is too important. So they want the U.S. to be a part of it. They need the U.S. Starmer and Macron are working behind the scenes to pacify relations between Zelensky and Donald. Following their public spat on February the 8th, Macron has spoken with both Zelensky and Donald privately, telling the news in an interview published on March 1st that he took the initiative to mediate because what is at stake is too important. The manifest destiny of the Americans is to be on the side of the Ukrainians. I have no doubt about it. What the U.S. has done over the past 3 years is entirely consistent with its diplomatic and military tradition, Macron said. I want to make the Americans understand that this engagement from Ukraine is not in their interest. Macron also cautioned against signing a peace deal without any security guarantees for Ukraine, adding that geostrategic deterrent capacity with regard to the bear, the red dragon, again Russia and China, and others would vanish the same day. If the bear full-scale war of aggression is not stopped in Ukraine, it will certainly go to Moldova and perhaps beyond to Romania, Emmanuel Macron said. Both the UK and France have supported the idea of deploying peacekeeper in Ukraine as part of the country's security guarantees. All right. So they need the US. But here's the thing, Donald is not, he doesn't want to drag our sleeping giant country to this war. Emmanuel Macron is trying to talk things out and saying, hey, we need you. Yeah, but we don't want WW3. What don't you get? You're going to send troops. You're going to send planes. That's not going to be peace. That's going to be WW3. UK to provide Ukraine with $2 billion for air defense. Very important information here, guys. Please share the video. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. Starmer announced on March the 2nd that the UK had reached an agreement with Kiev to provide Ukraine with £1.6 billion, that's $2 billion, for the purchase of 5,000 air defense missiles. Starmer said that the deal will be conducted through export financing, with the missile being produced in Belfast, Northern Ireland. This will be vital for protecting critical infrastructure now and strengthening Ukraine is securing peace when it comes, Starmer added or said. The deal, which Starmer announced during a press conference following the conclusion of a European Leaders Summit in London, follows a separate commitment announced on March the 1st that would provide a $2.8 billion loan backed by frozen Russian assets. Ukraine has long been calling for allies to provide additional funding for Ukraine's air defense needs as the bear continues to pummel Ukrainian cities with missiles and drones. Here's the next one. Top U.S. officials, lawmaker lambast Zelensky over White House clash with Donald. A number of U.S. officials and the right lawmakers are continuing the criticism of Zelensky, with some suggesting that Zelensky may have to resign following the leader-heated exchange at the White House with Donald on February 28th. I don't think he's going to resign. I don't think he's going to do that. Again, you have so many countries backing him up, and there's a possibility he might extend martial law. Now, during an interview with the news on March 2nd, the House Speaker took aim at Zelensky, suggesting he need to come to his senses and come back to the table in gratitude, or someone else needs to lead the country. What Zelensky did in the White House was effectively a signal to us that he's not ready for peace talks. And I think that's a great disappointment, the Speaker said. Speaker remarked for in line with Senator Lindsey, formerly a supporter of Ukraine, who said on February 28 that Zelensky is either going to have to fundamentally change or go. Zelensky rebuked calls for his resignation from the rights lawmakers following the exchange, saying on the news that only Ukrainians vote for their leaders. Here's the thing, Zelensky, nobody's voting for you because you keep extending martial law. Now, U.S. Secretary of State, who has defended Donald since the incident, also criticized Zelensky in a separate interview with ABC News on March 2nd, stating that the U.S. will be ready to re-engage when they are ready to make peace. Rubio added that he has not spoken to Zelensky or members of the Ukrainian delegation since they were ordered to leave the White House. Once again, the Secretary of State comment echo those of Donald, who told reporters following the spat that Ukrainian leader was looking for something that I'm not looking for, and again asserted that Zelensky wanted to fight. Zelensky pushed back on Donald comments during his interview, asserting that Ukraine is ready for peace, but we need to be in a good position. We want peace. That's why I visited Donald, he added. White House National Security Advisor Waltz also criticized Zelensky on March 2nd, stating that we need a leader that can deal with us, eventually deal with the bear and end this war. When asked if Donald wanted Zelensky to resign, Waltz declined to directly answer the question, responding that if it becomes apparent that Zelensky either personal motivation or political motivation are divergent from ending the fighting in this country, in his country, then I think we have a real issue on our hands. Waltz, in a comment to far-right media outlet Breitbart News on March 1st, compares Zelensky to an that want to argue everything that you said. Here's the last one. The Kremlin says perceived sleeping giant foreign policy shift aligns with its vision. The Kremlin has praised what is perceived as a U.S. foreign policy shift, claiming on March 2nd that it aligns with its vision after Donald public dispute with Zelensky. Now, the new administration is rapidly changing our foreign policy configuration. This largely coincides with our vision, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry said in a comment published by the state-controlled media. There is a long way to go because there is a huge damage to whole complex of bilateral relations. But if the political will of the two leaders, Vladimir and Donald, is maintained, this path can be quite quick and successful. Once again, the Bear Foreign Minister Sergei also praised Donald, calling him a pragmatist and adding that that's what makes him interesting, state-controlled media reported on March the 2nd. Once again, Lavrov claimed that Donald administration's so-called common sense approach dictates stepping aside from aiding Ukraine. Donald, echoing Kremlin rhetoric on the war in Ukraine, said at the end of February that countries should forget about joining NATO, which the country sees as a security guarantee against a future of the bear invasion. The bear has repeatedly presented NATO expansion as a justification for the war. Overlooking the challenges of holding election in a war zone, Donald on February 9 called Zelensky a dictator, a remark he later claimed he did not remember making. What? So the U.S. also voted alongside the bear on February 24 against a UN resolution that condemned the bear invasion of Ukraine. And that's where we at, ladies and gentlemen. We are definitely seeing a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff is going on today. And so far, boom. UK, ready to deploy troops. 5,000 missile defense, I believe. Jets. Give me a second here. It's a missile defense. Give me a second. Air defense. Alright, so missiles. So once again, UK is like the first, and there's going to be a lot more country that will follow. This is where we are right now, guys. This is what you call WW3 alert, DEFCON warning. Alright, so again, this is what Donald's trying to, not to get involved. Like, hey, you guys going to be sending troops? I'm not going to get involved. I'm taking my troops out of there. And there's some talks happening that U.S. soldiers possibly to withdraw from Europe because things are about to hit the fan. And boy, oh boy, it's about to hit the fan pretty soon. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Once again, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. Once again, guys, $1 a month Patreon will get you access to our live stream every Monday. We talk about things that we cannot talk about on the platform. Also, I posted videos today. Those links will be in the comments box. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. Put faith and trust in Jesus Christ, for He's the only way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father except through Jesus. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.